Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's exactly what it's been the last 2 weeks as they snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat.
Talk to him, Jay.
How many of those did you give out?
Talk to him, Jay. I'm giving out 5 yesterday. I'm giving out thousands today. You never know where you might see your boy G Plus.
Thousands?
I mean, it's it's hyperbole. We're not going to do all that.
You're giving away multiple.
Multiple. Plethora.
That leaves it open-ended.
Yes.
What a game. What an absolute crazy game.
Yes, sir.
If you had heart pressure or blood pressure or heart medicine, you probably took a double dose of it as the Browns somehow, some way, find a way to overcome a poor defensive effort minus that of Myles Garrett.
The game makes no sense at all.
It doesn't. If you're looking to make sense of this,
No.
It's not there. Let's do our shotgun reactions. We'll start with you, Bull. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll get into plenty of things to criticize from the game or going forward. And there is things, if the Browns are going to get to where we want them to be, that need to get better and need to be critical. But here's the most important thing. And Browns fans better than anybody should understand this. The team is 4-2. There are problems. But you know what? There's teams with 2 and 4 that have problems. There's teams with 3 and 3 that have problems. No team looks great right now. There's some teams that look real. We thought the Lions were starting to come to be the best team in the league. Then they got their ass kicked by the Ravens. Now the Ravens look like the best team. Wouldn't surprise me if they lost the next game they played. That's the way the NFL is. So, yeah, there's some sloppiness. There's a lot to clean up. But the most important thing is 2 games in a row, the Browns, who traditionally find ways to lose, have found ways to win.
Jason.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. Just the fact that they're getting some calls that went their way, some questionable calls that they've never gotten before.
Right.
And they're taking advantage of it. But they do, like, we're going to get into this. I mean, you could go 100 different ways. I think Myles is the front runner now for Defensive Player of the Year. That game yesterday is going to be replayed for the rest of the season. But also, we'll spend a lot of time on this week. The Browns have to do something about the quarterback position. I don't know how you can continue to go with P.J. Walker as the backup plan right now, because you're playing with fire. And from what we saw with Deshaun Watson yesterday, I don't know how you can count on him right now at this point. There's a lot of questions right now at the quarterback position.
G. Bush.
Hey, man, listen, I was telling them earlier, when you talk about the situation with Kevin Stefanski, I've been very vocal about what his ups and downs have been. But I'll give him credit. He played on going into that game with Deshaun Watson, and he made a decision he did not make a couple years ago, which shows me that he's learning from situations. He made a decision that said, listen, Deshaun, you're not looking good right now. I don't know what it is. It could be you, rust, or you're injured. But I'm gonna make a play what's best for the team. We're gonna sit you down and we're gonna go with P.J. Walker. That takes a lot of heart. That's especially when you know what the expectation level is for Deshaun Watson. So I thought Kevin Stefanski did a good job in just saying we got to go with what we know, and then figuring it out on the run. They've made some adjustments. They haven't been perfect. Play calling isn't perfect, but there is a lot that you could take away from this game that you should like and love, and moving forward, if you could get the same type of stuff to happen, as well as getting the quarterback play together, you might have something special, Jay.
I always say it. After a win, the warts are diminished. I think what the Browns need to do after these 2 wins, how close they were, is focus in on those warts. Mm-hmm. Forget the result of the game. It was a win, and you never apologize for wins in the NFL. And Bull, you're exactly right. These are games we've watched this team lose for the last 30 years, just like the ones we saw last week and the one we saw yesterday. Those are L's. They have always been L's. How were these victories when they should have been defeats? Because both of those games, let's face it, should have been losses. In the old Browns, those are losses. So how'd they win them? Well, we talk about this all the time, and we've always been critical when it's been bad culture. But maybe, just maybe, now we're starting to see good culture. The team never gave up. There were plenty of opportunities to quit. They never quit. I don't know if Jim Schwartz brought that with him. I don't know if Kevin Stefanski has turned a corner when it comes to culture and attitude. But all of a sudden, when you win games like this, you not only know you can, you expect to win games like this. And that can easily turn a 7-10 into a 10-7. Don't apologize, but focus on all the mistakes you've made over the last 2 weeks and thank your lucky stars. Because quite frankly, 4-2 could just as easily be 2-4. but it's not.
The Browns, I'll use a word to describe the Browns that I don't know if I've ever used in the entire time I've been covering this team. They're resilient.
Yeah, you're right.
They are a very resilient team right now.
And they're getting breaks. They were lucky yesterday.
They certainly got some breaks, no doubt, but that's it. I always get mad when our fans complain about the officials, and I'll say the same thing about Colts fans. Shut up. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
You're going to get some calls in your favor. You're going to go some calls against you. That's it. What's amazing is they've somehow won these two games, guys, and they did it two different ways. In the Niners game, the defense was phenomenal.
Right.
And they won that game basically on the defense.
Sure.
Whereas this game, I can only point to like a couple of individuals. Like Myles was amazing, and Dustin Hopkins was amazing, and they don't win. If either of those guys isn't there, they lose this game and maybe lose it handily. But the defense didn't play great. They made some big plays,
They had
mostly
splash
by
plays.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And by the way, be careful what you ask for. We was nitpicking on the turnovers. They got 4 turnovers, but they also gave up 38 points. Sometimes,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was such a weird game.
sometimes it's a give and take.
It is. It was really was it. You said at the top,
Yeah.
and this was what I thought. The second the game was over, this game doesn't make any sense.
No.
Gardner Minshew threw for 300 yards. He's 0-8 when he does that.
Yeah.
If you would have, I did not have this on my bingo card. I did not have Gardner Minshew torching the Browns defense. I just didn't. And
Not only with his arm, but his legs too.
his legs as well. And it literally was.
Yeah.
It was Hopkins and Garrett, and then a bunch of bad football.
Mostly.
I mean, the offense. When you look at the offensive numbers, just like Pittsburgh had to look at the numbers the next day after they beat
Yeah.
us, I'm sure in the meeting rooms they were going, "How'd we do that?"
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Browns are saying the same thing today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike makes fun of my tweeting, but I tweeted yesterday that they had 75 passing yards, 72 passing yards, and 30 points midway through the third quarter. How on earth is that
it's-
even logical?
Yeah.
Thank
It was-
goodness, by the way, for the long Ford run at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, he had like 5 carries for 30 yards.
No, he had like 10 carries for 5 yards.
Yeah, did nothing aside from that.
Yeah, besides that, he was out of here.
So, I mean, it's feast or famine with him.
And now, who knows
Now he's
the
hurt.
injury status
I
of
know.
him.
I
They're
know.
down to their 3rd and 4th string running backs now.